Back again with another film review. I know it's been a little while, but over the last 2 weeks, I have just not been able to focus on anything that isn't either directly or indirectly related to Red Dead Redemption 2. Sorry, that's just taking up all my time. Murdering cowboys is my priority right now. And I will one day do an actual review on here of video games, because I'm a pretty big gamer, actually. We have like 20-something video game systems. I have like 1,000 different video games. And I have a Red Dead Redemption tattoo. It's Bonnie McFarlane. So that's what I've been doing lately. Haven't been able to get to the theater as much, but that's more health related. But I can still watch movies around the house and stuff. But I did get to go see a movie this week, and I got to see a movie just came out on Blu-ray this week that I didn't get to see when it was in theaters. Just things happened, I didn't get to see it. So today I'm going to do two movie reviews in one video, so I'll try to keep each one kind of short. First, we went to see A Star Is Born. Now, I've been wanting to see this movie for a couple weeks. The reviews are, people are like, this movie was way better than it had any right to be. And I'm not sure how many versions of A Star Is Born have been out there. I've seen like two. I saw one made in like the 30s, which was a good movie, and I saw one made like the 60s or 70s, and that was alright too. I think there was one other one. I can't remember. But, full disclosure, I'm not a big Lady Gaga fan, but it's not anything against her. I actually think she's a very pretty woman, especially when she's not being Lady Gaga, and we'll get to that with this movie. I think she can sing. I think she's a very talented person. It's just not my kind of music. It's kind of like how I can say Garth Brooks is a super talented dude. I'm just not into country music, you know? Sorry. But, this is not her first movie, because she was in Machete Kills and she did other little bit spots, but this is her first, like, feature starring role. And she knocked it out of the fucking park. My God, was this movie so much fucking better than I ever thought it would be. I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, even though I've never been famous, I've been a performer. I've done stage, theater, I've performed music with a friend of mine, Matt, and I. Have performed music together. I've done this. I worked in pro wrestling, but I've never been like famous. Like, yeah, people in the Dayton, Ohio area for a brief, very small period of time would recognize me if they saw the show or knew us from the wrestling show. But still, these characters are so well directed and written and acted that you can identify with them. A big one is the main character, Bradley Cooper, has tinnitus. I have tinnitus. I've had ringing in my ear or humming in my ear since I was a little kid. I had a tumor crush my eardrum when I was 8 years old. I've told the story on here before, I won't go into it, and I do experience that, especially when my blood pressure gets high. I hear a humming or a ringing, and sometimes it becomes painful. And you drink to dull the senses, or you just do random different things to try to get your mind off that, because it's a constant, non-stop thing. I mean, there are times when I don't hear it as much, or I don't notice it, but there are times, oh my God. And when they do some of those hearing tests, and in the movie he does a hearing test, and he like jumps like this, and I told my wife afterwards, I was like, look, I used to have to get those hearing tests when I was a kid, when they throw the, not your typical hearing test, it's like the one where we already know you have a hearing problem, we're going to test to see how severe it is. It can be painful, how loud those things come into your ear. And so I like identified with that part of his character, and just the experience, the anxiety and depression that he experienced. I do as well. And I'm not going to give away anything about the ending of the movie, because it's a very tragic and sad ending. But I have said this year that my two favorite movies, like nothing's come across it's taken away, was number one is so far is Avengers Infinity War. I just thoroughly love that. And I've been saying Hotel Artemis, which a lot of people don't agree with me on that, has been my number two. I think this just took the number two spot away from Hotel Artemis and pushed it to number three. This is my second favorite movie of the year. I fucking loved A Star Is Born. I highly recommend people go see it. This was my wife's second time seeing it, because my wife is a huge Lady Gaga fan. Has t-shirts, all her albums, all that stuff. And we have a couple of DVDs. She wants to go see her in concert, but my God, the tickets are always so goddamn expensive. But you can find a character in this movie to identify with. In my opinion, so far this year, as far as performances go, my favorite female performance this year is still Jodie Foster in Hotel Artemis. But Bradley Cooper's performance in A Star Is Born is my favorite male performance of the year so far. Those two had such tremendous on-screen chemistry. And all the other actors were really good too. Andrew Dice Clay is in the movie. He's very good. Dave Chappelle has a bit part. He's really good. Sam Elliott, Sam Elliott better be nominated. Cooper and Lady Gaga better be nominated, and the film should be nominated. It was really that goddamn good. So, highly recommend seeing A Star Is Born. I don't care if you're not into that kind of music. I'm more like, I like 90s rap and skate punk. That's pretty, you know, and classic and blues and stuff like that. I don't listen to that poppy music. You don't have to be a fan of that to enjoy her performance in this film. I can't wait to see what she does after this. So, it's still in theaters. It's doing very well. If you haven't gone to see A Star Is Born, God, I can't recommend it enough. It was so good. I actually, and this very rarely happens to me, I had tears in my eyes at the end of this movie. No lie. I don't care if people, oh, you're a pussy. Fuck you. I don't give a shit. I enjoyed the movie that much. The second movie I saw was a movie I was so upset I didn't get to see, but my theater only carried it for like a couple weeks, and one of the weeks I was sick and a couple other things were coming out, and that was Spike Lee's new film, BlacKKlansman, based on a true story. Or as the opening thing, based on some for real shit, yo, or how, I forget how it was worded, it was fucking great. Another movie that, this one I kind of knew was going to be good, because everybody that had seen it was like, okay, this is a very important movie. Now, I don't get too into my politics on this, because I don't want to alienate viewers. But if you're, and this is not anti-Republican, because I have voted Republican in my life, and I'm going to live in Ohio, I voted for John Kasich. If you're an ardent Trump supporter, you may want to turn this review off now. Because this movie takes a lot of shots at Trump, and not cheap shots either. They're being realistic. And I don't jump on all the Trump hate, because I mean, like, there are some things that people nitpick about him. I'm like, really? He does enough stupid shit. We don't have to focus on that. I do think he's a horrible fucking president. I don't think he's the worst we've ever had. Research Andrew Jackson and then tell me that Trump is a worse president than Andrew Jackson. I have children that are disabled, and they have suffered under this. And people can say, "Oh, money, break it down." I'm not worried about the money part. I'm worried about my family personally. And my children have lost a lot of their rights under the Trump administration. Not directly because of him. Well, I guess I don't know if to blame him or not. It's the Betsy DeVos woman that he put in for education, Department of Education. She has stripped like half of my children's rights. Thankfully, I live in a district where they're still going to be good to my kids. If you live in the Cincinnati area and you have disabled children and you're having an issue with your children's care, move to Colerain Township. Northwest School District's Special Education Department is fantastic. It's just my opinion. Having said that, that's not what this movie's about, but that is an underlying tone. That's why this movie was made, I believe. Take that out. This movie's great. It's well acted. The story, it's one of those movies that's a very serious fucking subject, but they sneak in a lot of great comedy. There is a lot of funny moments in this, and there's a lot of, this movie is written to make everyone feel uncomfortable. Everyone. And everybody always says the thing, oh, Spike Lee, oh, he's just a pro-black this, pro... No, you need to watch this movie. This movie is not anti-white. Not one bit. It's anti-racism. It's anti-stupidity. It's anti-ignorance. It's not anti-one group. And they do that by really going in your face with racial prejudices. And there's a great line that I'm so glad Spike Lee put in this movie. When the guy says, when Adam Driver's character says something about being Jewish, and Washington's character, Ron Stallworth, says, he's like, oh, you're Jewish? And he just goes, I don't know, am I? And just walks out of the room, and then it hits Ron Stallworth like, wow, I didn't think about that. Like, shit. I have this guy helping me with this thing with the KKK. I didn't even think to ask if he's Jewish. So it made him feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental. That was so great that they included that, because this movie shows, it shows there's bad people on all sides. There's not always good people, like, we'll get to that on all sides, but there's always an extremist in each group. I don't care if your group supports everything I support. I'm not into extremism, and there's always going to be extremes. And that's what this movie's really about, is showing this is how far things can get if we let them. And they're starting to get that way again, because in the end of the movie, they show a Klan group. And then they show people with torches, and you don't even think about it. It says Charlottesville. Or was it Charlottesville? I'm sorry, I can't remember the city name. My memory's bad. Last year, when the neo-Nazis marched. And you're like, wait, oh my god, this is actual footage. This is what the incident from last year, and they show a lot of the footage from that incident, and it thematically matches what had happened earlier in the film to show us we're back there again, or we could get that bad again. And then it shows Trump saying there's good people on both sides, and you have one side of people chanting, Jews will not replace us, Jews will not replace us. The film is very touching. It's another film that you're tearing up at the end. And whether you agree with it or not, well, actually, this is one of those movies, if you disagree with, its chances are likely you're probably racist. I'm sorry. Or a bigot in some way, shape, or form. And that doesn't fly on my channel, sorry. I had friends of all races, religions, many friends. I have trans friends on here, gay friends, bisexual friends, asexual friends, pansexual friends. I don't care. You're good to me, I'm good to you. We all can love each other. This is one of those movies that it's going to make you uncomfortable no matter who you are. And that's good. We need to be uncomfortable. Everybody is so comfortable in their little comfort zones, and that's why they don't want to vote outside of their party sometimes, or they don't want to listen to the other opinion, because they'd rather be comfortable than be informed. And I think that this movie touches a lot on that. I'm sorry if I have offended anybody in the process of this video, and I probably will lose some viewers over that, and that's okay. Because if you don't like somebody based on their race, or their sexual orientation, or their religion, and this is an atheist saying that. This is an atheist. If you don't like somebody just because they're Christian, you're a fuckhole. I hate you. If you hate somebody just because they're Muslim, fuck you. Or the color of their skin, or who they decide to fall in love with, or who they decide to identify as, fuck you. I don't want you watching my shit anyway. You can call me an SJW all you want. Eat my shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm all about people being who they are, and I respect them for being who they are. So if you've been offended by anything that I've said in this video, I'm just reviewing a movie and giving my opinion. I'm not... That's it. So there are going to be people out there that will watch BlacKKKlansman and get angry at it. But for the wrong reason. I got angry watching this movie, but for a good reason. I will absolutely watch it again. I loved it. I'm not sure... It's an odd thing, because it's like... I want to put it in my top 10 of the year, but as far as important films, it's the most important movie of the year. But as far as like filmmaking and all that, what I have to include when I do my favorites, if I did a top 10 best, what I thought were the best movies, most impactful movies, for sure. But just personal taste, I have seen movies I've liked better. But just that's because of as a movie, not the content. Like, I enjoyed the movie. I will give a couple examples. Peter Rabbit and Proud Mary, because I saw them like right around the same time period. Two very different movies. I like them both a little bit better than BlacKKlansman, but that's not to take away that BlacKKlansman is a movie that people should see. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, good. That's just how I feel. So, I'm gonna not watching a movie this weekend, mainly because my wife has to work. But next weekend is the Fantastic Beasts sequel, and I am thrilled to death after that to see that. And then a week from that, me and my buddy Matt are going to go see WWE Starrcade live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we will be doing a review of that. So I will see you then.